Hey guys, it's Scott with Scotty B Cards. In this video, I want to look at Max Scherzer's top rookie cards. Okay, so this is a series called Rookie Card Rankings. If you're new to the channel in the last little bit, you haven't seen one of these yet, but what I do is I take a player's very best rookie cards and rank the top 15 on this graph and chart right here. It's a pyramid. We go from top to bottom, worst to best, and all of them on here are good, but we're going to go by values and also the possibility of future value as well, long-term importance essentially, and that's how we'll kind of determine this list. First thing is we do not include autographs on this list because if we did, it'd be very confusing, especially for modern players. People like Scherzer probably could get away with it fine. We are not going to be including parallels. There may be like some exceptions, but generally speaking, we won't have like a black parallel of Allen and Ginter, like the black border versus the regular border, or Topps Chrome Refractor, things like that. We're going to avoid that just to make life more clear. And on top of that, we do not do online releases unless it's an e-Topps release. We don't do like Topps Now or like the direct stuff from Topps, all the new modern stuff that's really confusing. Throwback Thursdays, Montgomery clubs. You get the idea. Okay, so Max Scherzer, he almost had a perfect game. I waited till after his game to do this video so I had more insight about what happened. He hit 3,000 strikeouts. He destroyed the Padres. Sorry, Padres fans. It's been a tough month for you guys, month and a half. I'm a Rockies fan, so I don't feel too bad for you, but I still am sorry things have happened how they are. Anyways, let's just jump right into it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show the card. I'm going to say how many PSA 10s exist, the gem rate, raw, and PSA 10 values. So here we go. The first one is from Upper Deck Timeline. This is number 15. Actually, I'll even show number 14 at the same time. These are both from Upper Deck Timeline. The reason why I'm showing both is because I think there's about 5 or 6 different Max Scherzer rookies from this set. I have one other one later in the video, but these are the other two I think have the most value outside of that set. Both of them do not have any PSA 10 comps to actually compare them to. They go for about $5 each raw. This one right here is the most common, kind of like the common base card. There's 11 PSA 10s out of 19 graded for a gem rate of 57%. This one, there's only 9 PSA 10s out of 30 graded for a 30% gem rate. Those borders are really tough and centering can be really tough. And I kind of think that's why Topps has stopped doing bordered cards as much, is because centering issues are blatantly obvious, and in a time where we're all screaming about quality control, it makes it harder for them. So that was 15 and 14. At number 13, we actually have another Upper Deck release. This is going to be Gowdy. So Gowdy is, for like 1933 Gowdy is the Babe Ruth, the Lou Gehrig, all those really big important cards. Upper Deck has the rights to Gowdy, and so they redid it in this year. And this is a really cool looking rookie card. Instead of it saying, I think it says Lou Gehrig says, on the old ones it says Ken Griffey says, which is pretty cool of the era. He's on the Reds right there and still active, which is nice. This one goes for about $8 raw and $110 in a PSA 10. It's a really good looking rookie card. There's 154 PSA 10s out of 249 graded for a gem rate of 62%. So I actually really like the look of this card, but I think because it's Upper Deck, it's holding back its value. They were licensed, so it shouldn't, but that's just kind of how it is right now with baseball cards. Everyone prefers Topps just because that's what's been going on. That's going to change, obviously, with Fanatics taking over. After that, at number 12, we have the first Topps release. This is Topps Allen and Ginter, a set that is still around today and still very popular. A really basic card, exactly how Ginter looks now, for being honest. But this one goes for about $8 raw, $115 in a PSA 10, so a little bit more than the previous card. There are 343 PSA 10s out of 416 graded for a really high gem rate of 82.45%. So not a really hard card to grade, and I think it would be worth more if there weren't so many PSA 10s around out of how many are graded. After that, at number 11, we have another Upper Deck release. This is going to be Upper Deck Masterpieces. This has one of Scherzer's most valuable rookie autographs, but for the base card, it doesn't go for that much. You're going to see a common trend. These cards are all very undervalued compared to other modern players, especially because he's a lock for the Hall of Fame now after 3,000 strikeouts, 3 Cy Youngs, World Series ring. You get the idea. He's really good. So this one is $8 raw, again, $115 in a PSA 10. 169 PSA 10s exist out of 247 graded for a gem rate of 68.42%. I actually think this is a really good looking card. It kind of has like the fabric or the, canvasy texture. Makes it like a masterpiece. They wanted to make it like art, and that's kind of what this whole set looks like. Next up, we have another Upper Deck Timeline. This is from 1994, I believe is what the foil is based on. There's actually a 1993 Clayton Kershaw from the same set that's really cool. But this one is an SP Authentic, really condition sensitive with these foil edges and corners, just like their previous release in the 1990s. But this one, again, raw is only $8, but if you want to get it in a PSA 10, one sold today for $200. So starting to see a little bit higher prices in PSA 10s. There's only 13 PSA 10s that exist out of 26 graded for a gem rate of 50%. And I actually really like these foils. The Upper Deck timeline didn't do many favors for themselves just because there's so many rookies. It was kind of like Chronicles from Panini before Chronicles existed, where they just have a bunch of sets in one, and it kind of just devalues everything across the board. Next up, we had a card that surprised me. It was worth this much. Another Allen and Ginter, but this is the mini. So the mini goes for significantly more than the standard sized card. It looks a lot better because, there's less, like right here. Here's the image. There's just tons of, white all around, kind of boring. The mini actually shows Max Scherzer a little bit more concise and it looks a lot better. But this mini right now goes for $15 raw, so basically double what the other one goes for raw, and it goes for $200 in a PSA 10, which again is basically double what the other one is going for in a PSA 10. This card only has 38 PSA 10s, but there's only 47 graded for another high gem rate of 80.85%. At number 8, we have another card that is actually pretty awesome. I'm not quite sure how I feel about it for value, but it is the 2005 Upper Deck USA Max Scherzer. This is his first licensed card, essentially his first major league, big league card, still before he debuted, but you get the idea. It's with a lot of other big leaguers in the set as well. This one will cost you $15 raw or $145 in a PSA 10, which is less than the other PSA 10s on this list, a couple other cards here, but I think long term, because it is his first card, it won't get lost in the confusion of the different timeline sets and the Allen and Ginter mini versus standard. You get the idea. I think it'll be a more sought after card. There's not a lot of them graded. That's actually all of Max Scherzer's cards. Not many are graded at all. Right now there's 184 PSA 10s out of 268 graded for a gem rate of 68.66%. Now we're at number 7. We're going to see some more common Max Scherzer rookie cards. This is the Stadium Club rookie. It's not my favorite image. Stadium Club usually is all about images, and it's kind of a boring image. It looks like it's from spring training or maybe one of his first starts, and it's just kind of a grass and it's just a diamond. Pictures are kind of hard to make look really cool in cards compared to position players. But this card will cost you $13 raw. A PSA 10 sold for $263, so quite a bit more than the other cards on the list. And it's a very tough grade. Only 41 PSA 10s out of 88 graded for a gem rate of 46.59%. After the Stadium Club, at number 6, we have Bowman. So it's actually interesting. I think these are the exact same picture, essentially. This is just a little bit earlier, and this is a little bit later in his pitch. But regardless, this Bowman rookie goes for $10 raw or $350 in a PSA 10, which is really high. That's just because only 15 PSA 10s exist, and there's 121 graded for a very, very low gem rate of 12.4%. These Bowman rookie paper cards of all these players, essentially from this year all the way until like 2011, I know it's the same way. They're really hard to grade. Those borders are always dinged up, and that always helps the value. So it's a pretty cool card. I would probably not have it as high if it wasn't for the low gem rate, just because that really helps with driving that value up. Next up, we have another really common set, and it's actually not my favorite card. It's the Heritage rookie for Max Scherzer. And the reason I say that is because the rookies in this set were essentially inserts. And when I say inserts, they aren't the base 1959 design, one of my favorite designs ever. They had it as like the rookie stars instead of the actual base. They really missed out on that. But this goes for $15 raw, $213 in a PSA 10, which is less than the Bowman, but I still think long-term Heritage, it will be easier to move because it's more popular and it still has a really low gem rate. There's 43 PSA 10s out of 150 graded for a gem rate of only 28.67%. Next up on the list, we have Bowman Chrome. So now we're getting to some bigger sets. Bowman Chrome nowadays making a really big comeback. And because modern cards like Tatis and Vlad are having their Bowman Chrome rookie cards be worth more, it's going back to Kershaw and Scherzer from 2008, and these cards have gone up a ton. So right now, this Bowman Chrome is going to cost you $35. Before it was a $5 card earlier this year. But in a PSA 10, it's also a very hard card to grade. Pretty common because these are from 2008. Nobody submitted them back then. But regardless, in PSA 10, it's $350. Same price as the Bowman paper, but I would rather have the Bowman Chrome any day simply because it's going to be easier to move. 96 PSA 10s out of 337 graded for a gem rate of 28.49%. All right, so we are now at the top 3. One of these cards I think will surprise you, and I'm going to show that right now at number 3. That is the E-Tops rookie for Max Scherzer. E-Tops was a really big thing back in the mid-2000s. Even actually LeBron has an E-Tops rookie all the way till 2011, and then they stopped in 2011. Mike Trout has one. But they're serial numbered, and there's no parallels, no 101s, nothing. It's just 999 of these cards, all serial numbered on the back. So it's actually a really tough card to find, and it's a tough card to find in good condition. Right now, this this card goes for $85 raw, and that's just because there's not many that exist. A PSA 10 just sold for $550. There are only 10 PSA 10s that exist out of 17 graded for a gem rate of 58%. So tough card to find. It looks really cool. It's a refractor and it really shines really well, which I think helps its value as well. I just bought one myself and I really like it. At number 2, it's a card you probably expect for sure. This is the Topps Update rookie, his flagship rookie. This one goes for $80 raw. In a PSA 10, it goes for $580. There's 1,124 PSA 10s out of 1,924 graded for a gem rate, again, of 58%. So a lot of his rookies are pretty low pop cards, and you're not going to see a huge influx of these Update rookies. You will see some getting graded right now. Like I graded one myself. I think it's a 9. It's 2 off center, but other than that, it looks great. But regardless, they're just an older card. That's why there's so much value in these cards. There's his top 15 rookies. A lot of players have about 40. He only has about 20. And other ones are basically the Upper Deck timeline rookies. So he is a really good player to buy. I don't know if it's worth investing in him. I am myself, but I don't want to tell you to do so because investing in pitchers is just a risk. I just think long-term Max Scherzer has a few more good years ahead of him. He'll move his way up the strikeout list, and I think it's going to be a good time to buy Max Scherzer. Which leads us to number 1. This is the Topps Chrome Update Max Scherzer. By far his best rookie base card. No parallels of this card. This is it. These were released in the hobby and jumbo boxes. They were box toppers. There were 55 rookies in the checklist. So you had a 1 in 55 chance out of a hobby box to get him. So, if there's how many 12 boxes in a case, it's like every 3 or 4 cases to find this card. And on top of that, there's significantly less cases of 2008 update released than there's going to be of 2021 update released, for example. So not really a base card, more of an insert, but I still count it because it's not categorized as a refractor. It's categorized as Topps Chrome Update. This card raw went for $1,300. A PSA 10 is listed for $5,500. I bet you could get it for $4,000 to $4,500, which might not be a bad deal because there's only 19 PSA 10s in existence out of 38 graded for a gem rate of 50%. So I actually just bought this one as well. I paid $650 last week. It has an indentation on the back. It's at SGC grading, so I hope it gets an 8 or 9, but it might get lower because the indentation, I don't know how they're going to grade that. Other than that, guys, that is it for this video. Let me know down in the comments below which one of these rookies you'll be targeting. If you're going to be buying pitchers like Max Scherzer who are established and undervalued, I think if you just want a really cool rookie of a Hall of Fame player, this is it. They're only $5 to $10 for the majority of these rookies. If you want to go high end, you're looking at $35. So really fun player to collect. He's really good, really intense on the mound. If you look into his backstory, like kind of how he acts and who he is, really interesting player. Thank you for watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you aren't a subscriber already. And other than that, I will catch you in the next video.